Yeah, I just wanted to tell about our latest investment. Our fund is Endeit Capital. We invest in growth internet firms around Europe. Our latest investment is in TourRadar, which is an online marketplace for multi-day tours around the globe. And we are very proud to announce that transaction with Travis. Travis Pittman is the founder and CEO of TourRadar.
Thank you.
Maybe we should put up the slide.
That slide's up there.
All right, sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. Travis, can you maybe explain a little bit more about why you wanted to start this company in traveling and your background?
Sure. So I'm from Australia. I moved to London 14 years ago as one of the expats, a lot of the Australians and Kiwis here, and saw that a lot of touring was being done, so Egypt, Asia, South America, but there was nowhere to book it online. So we started to digitize that process, and during that time I met a girl who is from Austria, and she dragged me to Vienna, so I've been there 10 years now.
Yeah. And why is it so difficult to book those tours online?
So traditionally it's been booked with a travel agent, so you walk in, it's a very complex product. For example, if you want to do Tanzania, Kilimanjaro, there's so many questions of what's the accommodation, what's the transport style like, what do I need to take with me, and that's traditionally been asked face to face, so it needs to be trust. So to bring that process online requires a lot of content, a lot of trust building, and that's something that no one's really taken the leap to jump into this, and we took that step about 8 years ago, started digitizing that and producing user-generated content around it, reviews, photos, that sort of thing around it.
And what is the typical supplier of your trips? What type of trips and what type of companies are there?
Sure, so when I first moved to London I was a little bit younger than I was now, so we were more focused on youth travel, so a lot of 18 to 35-year-olds taking adventure party type trips, so about 50% of our business today is 18 to 35. But we're seeing a really nice growth in the higher end, so 50 plus demographic. They have time, they have money, and they're taking more luxury type experiences like river cruising. So we've just onboarded a bunch of river cruise companies like the Danube, the River Seine, and really high basket sizes. So last week we got our record booking of a $55,000 booking just from one passenger. So it's really 5-star high-end stuff right down to the youth adventure. And we're working with big global companies as well as local suppliers who are in the destination.
And what is the typical trip? Is it like 10 days or 7 days? And do you go in a group, or can you also go as a couple in booking, or how does it work? So
yeah, it's predominantly solo travelers booking. So 40% of our bookings are from female solo travelers.
Female, okay.
Female, yeah. So because of the nature of the group, the trust, the security, having a guide showing you around, knowing where you're staying, how you're getting from A to B, it's very popular with solo female travelers. So it's a big chunk of our business. And yeah, so it's really not about group bookings, it's about 1 or 2 people joining a group and meeting like-minded people. So it's a very social style of travel. So you start with the group and you travel to 14 days to different places, and you get to know those people along the way. And what we like to say is that you will make some lifelong friends because there's 1 or 2 people at least in that group that you'll really connect with. Yeah.
And how do you guarantee the safety of a trip? If I send my family or my daughter on a trip, not my daughter, but if you send someone on a trip, how can you be sure that there's actually a guide standing there, or the hotel is really there when I arrive in Thailand for a jungle tour?
Yeah, sure. So we curate our supply very well. So we really do background checks. We get a lot of inbound requests to join the platform, and we only accept about 5% of those operators who want to join. And another safety mechanism that we have is around the payments. So we actually hold the money, a bit like Airbnb does, until the departure date of the tour, and then we actually pay out to the tour operator. So it's a nice way to know that they will deliver that service, actually.
Yeah. And can you maybe also explain a little bit the difference between your company and typical trip companies like Get Your Guide and these type of firms?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, we're in a similar space. It gets lumped into tours and activities, but we're very much focused on multi-day. So Get Your Guide, it's in destination. So you book your flight to Paris, and then you want to actually do something there, and you realize a couple of days before, what am I going to do in Paris? And that's where Get Your Guide comes into it. So a 2-hour Eiffel Tower climb or visiting one of the museums, whereas with us, it's planned in advance. It's the reason for the travel. So if you book Kilimanjaro, that's what you want to do, so you'll book that experience first. It's multi-city or multi-destination, and you're booking 6 to 12 months out. So it's a completely different customer to the in-destination guys.
Yeah. And one of the issues or typical problems you could typically have with booking a 10-day trip is that every customer has their own little wishes, right? So one wants to be in a 3-star hotel, someone in a 5-star hotel, someone starts at a different starting point or end point of the trip. How can you organize that in such a way that it's scalable on the one hand, and on the other hand, it's tailored enough that you have the feeling that you really have your personalized trip? So how do you balance between the two?
Yeah, so I think the tour operators generally have learned that people want that flexibility in their travel. They don't want to be following an umbrella around, chained to a group, no free time, that sort of thing. And that has been now built into a lot of the products. So it's really about getting enough supply on board who can offer that flexibility. So we've got tours that have 6 people in the group. We've got tours that have 50. And by having that variation in supply allows the customer to choose, use our filters, use the site to actually find the product that's relevant for them. So we get a lot of people calling up and saying, I want this custom tour, I don't want to do this. But then when they use the filters and actually we guide them on how to use the site, they end up finding something that's pretty much exactly what they're looking for. And they do get the free time on the tour. You're not chained to a group. It's a concept that we really need to try and change.
And do you also offer reviews or pre-information on the specific on the trip?
Yep, so that was a core way that we started the company, was around user-generated content. Reviews were a big part. So if you search for one of the companies like G Adventures or Kentucky Reviews, we're #1, so a bit like the TripAdvisor type model. And that's been key, obviously, for conversion as well. Social proof, getting customers to understand other people have been on this. I'm pretty comfortable to actually do this as well.
Yeah. Okay. And from the start of the booking to the end of the booking, it's a TourRadar booking, or do you lead me to the tour operator?
No, that's the key part, is owning the customer from end to end. So we are very transparent about the tour operators, so we tell them that you're booking it with G Adventures, but we hold their hand from the beginning right through to actually transaction, and we're the merchant of record with the customer.
Thank you, Travis.
All right, thank
I think
you.
we're close to our time. Thank you, Martijn.
Thank you. Great.